What if I told you one wrong choice by just one person could destroy something huge? Not a dragon. Not a giant war. Just one person making a bad decision. And by the end of this story, you're going to see how one act of betrayal didn't just hurt an empire, it completely destroyed it. A long, long time ago, there was a powerful empire. And when I say powerful, I mean really powerful. It had strong soldiers, tall walls, busy markets, and people from all over the world came to trade there. The empire was rich, organized, and safe. Other kingdoms looked at it and thought, we can never defeat them. It felt like the empire would last forever. But here's something important to understand. Even the strongest things don't always break from the outside. Sometimes they break from the inside. Inside this empire, there was a very important man. He wasn't the emperor, but he was close. Very close. The emperor trusted him more than almost anyone else. He helped make big decisions, plan defenses, and guide the army. If the empire was a castle, this man had the keys to every door. He knew everything. And that made him powerful. But it also made him dangerous. Because when someone you trust the most turns against you, the damage is much bigger than any enemy attack. At first, everything seemed normal. The empire kept growing. People were happy. The army stayed strong. But slowly things started to change. Some leaders began arguing. Some wanted more power. Some felt left out or treated unfairly. It was like a tiny crack forming in a wall. You might not notice it at first. But over time, that crack grows bigger and bigger until the wall can break. The empire still looked strong on the outside. But inside? It was starting to weaken. Now here's where things get really interesting. The enemy kingdoms were watching. They wanted to defeat this empire, but they knew they couldn't win in a normal battle. The empire was too strong. So they came up with a smarter plan. Instead of attacking the walls, they decided to attack the trust. They looked for someone inside the empire who could help them. And guess who they found? That same trusted man. The enemies secretly contacted him. They didn't threaten him. They didn't fight him. Instead, they offered him something. Power. Money. Control. They promised him a better future if he helped them. Now imagine being in his place. You already have power. But someone offers you even more. It's tempting, right? And that's exactly what made this so dangerous. Because sometimes, betrayal doesn't happen because someone is forced. It happens because they choose it. And he chose it. He decided to betray his own empire. But here's the scary part. He didn't do it in a loud or obvious way. There were no alarms. No big fights. No warnings. Just small actions. A secret shared here. A guard moved there. A plan quietly revealed. It was like unlocking a door and pretending everything was still safe. And in that moment, the empire's greatest strength, its trust, was broken. After that, everything started to fall apart. The soldiers didn't know who to trust anymore. Leaders began to argue even more. Some people started to panic. Others made bad decisions. It was like a team where no one listens to each other. Have you ever played a game where your team stops working together? Everyone runs in different directions. No one follows a plan. And you lose? That's exactly what happened. The empire wasn't losing because it was weak. It was losing because it was confused. And the enemy? They saw their chance. They didn't have to fight as hard anymore. Because the empire was already breaking itself from the inside. It's like trying to defend a castle, but someone inside keeps opening the gates. No matter how strong your walls are, you can't win like that. You might be wondering, why didn't anyone stop him? Why didn't they notice earlier? Because betrayal is tricky. It hides. It doesn't always look like danger. Sometimes, it looks like someone doing their job. By the time people realized something was wrong, it was already too late. The damage had already spread. And the worst part? It wasn't just buildings or armies that were damaged. It was trust. And once trust is broken, it's almost impossible to fix. Soon, everything collapsed. Cities were taken over. Allies stopped helping. Enemies became stronger and bolder. The empire that once seemed unbeatable started disappearing piece by piece. Until one day, it was gone. Completely gone. Not because it didn't have enough soldiers. Not because its walls were too weak. But because someone from inside destroyed it. Now here's the most important part of this story. The empire didn't fall just because of enemies. It fell because it trusted the wrong person. And this lesson isn't just about history. It happens in real life too. Think about friendships. If your best friend shares your secrets, helps you, and supports you, you trust them. But if they suddenly betray you, that hurts way more than anything a stranger could do. The same thing happens in teams, schools, and even countries. Trust is like glue. It holds everything together. But once that glue breaks, everything falls apart. So could this have been prevented? Maybe. If the leaders had paid more attention to the problems inside. If they had fixed the arguments and listened to each other. If they hadn't trusted blindly without checking. But here's the truth. Most people don't notice problems until it's too late. They think everything is fine. Until suddenly, it isn't. So what can we learn from this? Even the strongest empire in the world can fall if trust is broken. And once it's gone, rebuilding is very, very hard. If you enjoyed this story, you're going to love the next one where we uncover another powerful moment in history, so stay with us, hit like, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stories.